to the 25th episode.
Look at them. Don't look at me. I say them. There's no thems.
Yeah.
I feel like we should always wait before we say anything till we have at least one person.
I don't know. Did you like the official intro that time?
Well, was that your announcer voice?
I guess.
Do it again.
Welcome to the 25th episode.
I was different than the first time, but I like it.
Thank you.
Well, I can't
that was
do
a little
an
bit more.
announcer voice.
Yeah, especially not that. So today, I guess we should do updates. Oh, I am.
You keep looking at me. Look at the people we're talking to. Oh, we had
people.
Hey, hang on. We're telling more followers to join your video.
Yep. Well, there's people in other lands listening to this in their car or downloaded somewhere.
Download? It's not downloaded right now.
Not yet, but in the future.
Oh.
So, but when they listen to this, it'll be present.
Okay, gotcha.
Time,
gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
All right. So today, Vet picked up the.
So wait, let me give a refresher.
Okay.
So last week on the podcast, we talked about your corn snake. She is what? Other than corn snake, what else?
Anery.
That's what I thought.
mean, she's head for a bunch of stuff.
Okay, Anery corn snake, head for a bunch. She earlier this year produced beautiful clutch of how many eggs?
20 fertile eggs, 0
20
slugs.
Fertile eggs, 0 slugs, which is amazing. And like corn snakes normally do, double clutch. But you didn't attempt to breed her again. But she did her normal second clutch of all infertiles, but one got stuck in her oviducts, and it caused her to prolapse. We tried to help it ourselves, didn't work. Brought it to the vet on
Friday, right?
Last Friday?
No, it was when we did the podcast last Thursday.
Thursday. We brought her to the vet last Thursday, and now it is Tuesday. And you just got her back today because the vet's ridiculous.
Right.
Okay. So no, I got more background.
Yeah.
Normally, vets' first cause of action for prolapse is to push it back in there and stitch it up.
Right.
But the vet tried that, and now you go.
Well, I'm glad I can speak now.
Yes, you are.
So like the oviduct came out, and then luckily she was able to push whatever eggs were left in there, which were slugs.
You pushed out the last one.
Out to where the oviduct was prolapsed.
Okay.
But so I could kind of squeeze it out from the oviduct, because the oviduct itself doesn't have muscles to birth the egg. It's the muscles around it, like know what
push
I mean?
it. So the oviduct is just like the tunnel or canal that it. Because it's going to be so dirty looking. But the oviduct is the canal that the egg goes through, and the stuff around it. Okay, I'm going to stop with my hand. You said the stuff around, the muscles around the oviduct is what actually pushes it out. Okay. So if the oviduct is prolapsed, there's no muscles around it to essentially get it out. That's why it was
just
stuck in
kind
there.
of hanging out in there in a loose, like...
Yeah. Just grossness. I don't even know what you call that.
Yeah, so and then it came out easy, like just a little bit.
Pinch.
Yeah.
You were acting as the muscles. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that was before we brought her to the vet.
Yeah, and then we couldn't get the prolapse back in, and the vet tried to get the prolapse back in, and it wouldn't stay. So they decided to amputate the oviduct.
Is it amputating when it's not a
limb? It technically said that on the paper.
It's still amputating. In my head, amputating is like a limb, like cutting off a limb.
No, it doesn't matter what you're
cut off anything. Yeah. So if you take off a piece of skin, that's amputating.
I don't know.
No, that doesn't sound. No, taking off
maybe a finger.
Well, yeah, that's a limb. But if I take off a piece of your skin, you can't tell me that's amputating.
Oh my god.
Okay, but when you take off an oviduct,
I believe if it's ambulatory, that means that you can't walk, right? Or you're not mobile for some other reason.
I don't know what that word means.
Okay,
so they amputated the oviduct,
right?
Because it just wouldn't, because the stitches kept popping, right? It just wouldn't go back in because it was.
I mean, either way, it was probably not going to turn out
because it was just so much
again or anything. But
there's so much hanging out.
Yeah, I mean. Well, I wish it would just go back in, but it just doesn't work like that.
If the full oviduct hadn't come out, would you still try to breed her again or no? Any sign of prolapse, you're automatically like, no.
No. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. But in this case, since it was all out there, it wouldn't be smart to try. I'd
probably rather be safe than sorry and not do anything. No. Especially, if it's different, because she's not really like genetically a powerhouse or anything.
Right. So it doesn't hurt you to not. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
she can just be a pet, which she's going to be anyway. So.
Yes. So then, were they successful at amputating?
I would assume so. It's not there anymore.
Okay. They didn't tell you anything at the vet?
They not the best. They didn't really tell me anything.
They're just like, okay, here you go. Here's your snake.
I was like, did they put stitches in there? Because I wasn't sure if they needed to like stitch the cloaca to keep everything in.
But there was nothing. Wait, what do you mean everything? And there's nothing there.
No, but at first they put them in. I don't know.
Okay.
It's hard to explain.
Well, you asked if there were stitches, and what did they say?
And she was like, I don't know. Let me check. And it's like, well, because neither the guy who worked on him or the tech were there.
Oh, so you didn't even.
And then I never met the doctor.
Right, saw him. I saw him walking back and forth.
Right, like we never had an appointment or anything. Just because we thought it would be expedient to just bring the snake in there.
But you'd think at least the vet tech would call you or talk to you when you're picking it up for like an end of, thing. Just let
no
you
one
know.
Knew anything. They just came. I was never really I guess I wasn't a patient there before or a person who brought anyone.
That's very strange. You have to tell someone what you did to their animal.
Right. And then they're like, all right, you're good to go. And then I'm like, no, I have to pay.
Oh, you had to remind them you have to pay?
Yeah. They didn't know. I don't know.
I would have walked out.
Nothing was done exactly by the book. No, they have my number.
So did they give you antibiotics for the snake?
Yeah, so need to do antibiotics every 3 days, which I'm always like,
Why are you about antibiotics?
Because I don't want to just give antibiotics. I mean, but it was prolapse for so long, and she was,
So should snake breeders be cautious when it comes to using antibiotics?
In this case, I don't think so.
Well, just in general, should they?
In general, first RI and stuff, I would do humidity and heat,
but
try to help it that way.
After bringing to the vet, if the vet gives you antibiotics, should you ever go against what the vet's saying and not give them?
Listen to a vet, not me. I don't know.
But you're saying you don't.
Better advice.
But you're saying you don't like antibiotics,
right? Just like for any other reason, just like in humans, just because it's going to lower your immune system and leave you vulnerable, and then also it doesn't let the antibiotic work as well the second time when you really need it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So some breeders limit as much as they're going to,
give them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Are you gonna?
And then there's also necrosis that comes with it and stuff like that. So that's just like the tissue dying around the injection site.
Oh, I didn't know.
So that's also another thing.
Just a side effect to antibiotics.
Yeah. Well, at least Baytril, I know for sure.
Okay, but there's different antibiotics. Right. You don't always. Do you know what you just got?
Fazil. I don't remember.
Something you can't pronounce. Luis said, "What morph do you recommend for a corn snake? He likes bright and vibrant colors."
It doesn't. I mean, it depends what you like in a corn snake. I mean, you can pretty much find any color.
Said he likes bright and vibrant colors.
I know, but it's also price range needs to be put into account and stuff like that. But
bright and vibrant. I like the reverse Okatee. To me, those are bright.
There's the fluorescent line of reverse Okatees.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen that. But yeah, reverse. That's just what comes to my eyes.
Very bright. Fluorescent orange with white,
glowy.
And red. Yeah.
Huh.
They're pretty cool.
Okay. Any others?
Bright and vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like sunglow stuff like that, but
I don't know. I feel like your sunglow isn't very it's orange, but it's not bright. But that could be because
it might be when
a baby.
Older. Yeah,
right. That's what I was thinking. Primal Root says, "What are some of your future breeding goals?"
Goals, I think, is producing palmettos. I mean, that's just a matter of time, though.
Look at him.
But then also, like, eventually breeding olive pythons.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that.
I mean, it would be nice. It's just hard to buy a male when they want to get all the corn snake stuff done, too.
So that's future. Like,
right. Like, I would like to breed everything I have because everything I have at this point is like exactly what I want.
What you want? so everything. Like, I want to breed everything I own.
Well, yeah, that I own, which isn't a lot, but it's all the ones that I like.
That you want.
Yeah, because I've gone down to only the snakes that I really, really want around, and then built back up from there.
I think the corn snakes are more of an immediate, right? And some hognose.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those hognose are going to be hopefully breeding next season, which I've never bred hognose, and they're super weird.
They're weird in general. Right, in every way.
So it's like so much different than anything. It's almost like they're like half of a python, half of a colubrid of some sort, but they just don't follow any of the rules of...
Annoying. They're not cool. But I feel like in the last 3 months, though, everyone's into them. That could just be me, but I just feel like I see it everywhere lately. Like I feel like a while ago I didn't see the interest, but lately I think people like the nose.
Yeah, because you've been looking at too many of the Instagram tags with snakes with mustaches on them and shit.
And so that makes them like the turned up nose of the hog nose.
What? No, they like there's pictures where they have like top hats. And
yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I'm saying people,
because they can put the mustache on.
Right. Gotcha.
I don't know.
So, do you think it's going to be difficult to breed hog noses because they're so strange?
No. But
short answer, no.
It's more like getting them to eat when I want them to eat and
to build them up and everything.
Yeah.
Because how you get? Yeah, if they don't eat.
I mean, the female eats really good. The male's just super weird. Half the time, he only took those Reptilinks once, and I tried like 3 or 4 times since. But then again, he will eat a big meal and then not eat for a couple weeks, and then get hungry again.
But isn't it less of a concern for the male as far as bulking them up?
Yeah, but he's still pretty small. I mean, I guess corn or hognose snakes are just small all the time. But he just seems so small. It's like I don't know how this thing could breed anything, but he's old enough, I guess. I
don't know. In my eyes, the man, it doesn't take much.
I know.
So it's like he doesn't actually. He doesn't have to carry anything. I don't know. He just has to do something for 5 minutes and then
but
he's
snakes'
done.
age is much more connected to, or like their growth rate and age are much more closely linked to where humans, you could have like a really tall kid and a really short kid, but really fat kid, really skinny kid, and they both get
their chance of breeding is all the same.
Their chance of breeding, like puberty happens within a closer range.
No matter your weight, you're gonna have puberty.
Right. And then for some snakes, it's kind of like once you hit a weight, no matter what age you are, you're pretty much ready.
Really?
So it's kind of like not as closely linked in some species as it is.
So weight is more important than age.
In like ball pythons, for sure.
Is that why people feed? Sorry, I'm cutting off. But is that why people feed them a lot and make them big so that they can breed quicker?
Right. I mean, that's just in general. But the males, I mean, you can get them up in like 6 months. You hatch
ball
them
pythons?
out, and yeah,
a 6-month-old you would breed
like
it?
a little male, like 500 grams, a little bit under 500 grams is 500 grams is the cutoff pretty much to where your breeding size.
For a ball python.
For a ball python male, and then 1,500 is for a female.
Okay.
I mean, if she's a little bit older than 1,300, will like get you over that hump. But
wow, that feels so weird. 6 months old.
So it seems like for them, like weight is pretty much
age doesn't matter, right? As long as you can get them to that weight, and obviously
there's probably a whole host of downsides
to breeding a 6-month-old.
To breeding a 6-month-old, but really for the female, if it's only a year old and 1,300 grams, I don't think you're getting any benefit from breeding her rather than letting her. I think it may
hurt you down the line.
It's not going to be healthy for the animal either way to gain weight that fast, and be overweight and stuff like that. So I think you're taking years off their life.
That's
to
what I was
where
about to ask
you can get a first clutch of like 5 eggs out of her when she's small, or you can wait
and get a bigger clutch
a year later and then get 8 good eggs, and then she's going to produce for you more often. And
so does breeding really affect their life expectancy?
Well, if the temperature is going to make them go into that cycle, so they're going to cycle anyway, I would say, at least. So I think
that wasn't the answer to my question.
Well, especially it depends what species, but for
okay,
the most
we're still
part,
talking about ball pythons.
They're going to cycle
no matter what,
right?
So then breeding eggs, or actually having eggs, does not shorten a female's life expectancy. The amount of times you breed her, she's still gonna
her too often at bad weights, I'm sure would definitely be bad.
Okay, but do you like just breeding her earlier than at the 1300? So like, accept it. Yeah. It's possible, but doing that year versus a year later, are you really hurting her that much? It was what I'm asking. If she's at the weight for it, are you really hurting her? I mean, you might not get as many eggs, but I'm asking, are you hurting her to do it at that point?
No, I mean, I would wait until I would rather have a second year female a little bit smaller than
that's not my question. I don't care what you rather. I'm asking, would it hurt her?
Maybe not directly, but maybe throughout. I don't know, like, or maybe because usually when they're smaller, they lose a lot of weight during the process, and then you got to get them back.
So you have less weight to give.
So you have less. Usually they recover better when they're older, a little bit bigger. So she may have a hard time going back on feed. She may be just that much further behind than if she was an extra 300 grams before you bred her.
Okay, I can see that.
But I mean, everyone's going to breed everything as soon as they can. Right?
So ball python's weight seems to be more of a factor than age. Is there another species where age is more of a factor than weight?
Yeah, I had an example before.
Sorry, I was really deep into the ball python talk.
It would kind of be like, I believe olive pythons, or maybe it's black-headed pythons, you need like at least 4 years. I think it's breadlie are also kind of the same way.
4 years for something inside to happen.
So like even if they're the same size, everything, they don't seem to go unless they're a certain age.
Really? But we haven't figured out what's happening inside of them. Why that's 4 years?
No one's looking at that.
I'd be interested to know, like, what's so special. Like, obviously for humans, we know what happens to our bodies for puberty of why we can breed, but so I'd be interested to know why, like, what is special about 4 years? What happens at that time in all of
I'm
pythons?
not sure if we have anything to, it maybe captivity is a factor, or I don't know if you even have data to compare it with in the wild. So it's like, what's normal, what's not normal.
Gotta do some research, field studies.
Yeah, who's got money for that shit? No, you like when they're allotting what tax money goes to, how much gets allotted to that.
To snake research.
Yeah, nothing.
Where are all pythons from?
Australia.
So we couldn't do anything on it. It would have to be them. I don't know. I feel like that's something we should know. That's part of knowing your snake, and I don't know. Okay, so something has to happen at 4 years, and that's for the females and the males in all pythons, or just the females?
I believe it's more of a problem with the females. It always seems to be the females holding everyone back, but I'm not really sure.
Everyone?
Yeah, just in general, they just seem to be that, like, males will go really quickly.
They're pretty much ready to go.
Early, yeah.
Yeah.
With just
is there
the board.
So we said one where it's more dependent on weight, one where it's more dependent on age. Is there one where it's like both? You got to have an age and a weight for them to breed.
Not off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is.
There's one where you got to have both factors.
And then again, it's like, who's to say what the certain age is? Like, some people have had snakes that were older and lighter that went, and there's always exceptions to every rule.
Right,
So
but there's a
generality.
Norm.
Yeah, but that's why it's hard to answer when you're like, if they're this age, are they gonna have bad effects? Like, I don't know. It's situational, just like everything else.
I'm just saying in general.
But what's the lethal dose 50 for killing female ball pythons? What kills 50% of the population?
I've never heard that.
Meaning, like, it would be usually used for local. What's that? Lethal doses.
Okay. Evan said he just got done cleaning and feeding. Awesome.
I did that today and right
you
before.
You just did it.
Yeah.
And Nathan said, "Hey, recently been running into a problem. Corn snake has been eating very well, but then recently has been eating. Then a day or two later, he throws it up. What could be wrong with him?" That didn't sound like a good
that's something that I couldn't help you with. I don't think. There's just plenty of different factors that could go into that. So
it's interesting though that it's the corn snake's not throwing it up immediately, that it's like days later
that
they're throwing it up.
But I mean, there's a lot of different things that could be doing that, whether it's like crypto.
Well, give some examples. Play WebMD for a little bit.
No, I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, there's different things like crypto, which I don't know enough about it to like explain, but apparently it's something that a disease that causes like stargazing, neurological issues, and eventually they die.
Wait, what's stargazing? Like literally looking.
Yeah, like
it's literally just like what? That happens in snakes?
Yeah, I mean, it happens like, well, all types of neurological problems, like the jag and carpet pythons or the spider and ball pythons, where they have neurological issues. We talked about that in a whole show.
Yes, but we didn't talk about stargazing. I feel like I wouldn't notice, because I feel like some of your snakes look all around right now. I don't know if I would notice what stargazing looks like. Is it very obvious?
That's me trying to open.
Sorry. Is stargazing very obvious?
It depends. Like that one isn't as obvious with the colubrids, but if you see, but like the head wobbles, those neurological problems are much easier.
Right. Interesting. So if you had a snake that was throwing up its food 3 days later, what would your first? Just bring it straight to the vet?
I don't know. Maybe I would not feed it for a little bit. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's got to be, maybe there's some other symptoms there. Right. He hasn't noticed.
That aren't very apparent.
Right. Like, you want to keep track always. If you see that your snake is going to be, you seeing that your snake is like losing weight and stuff like that, their body type is a little bit different. Like, that's when you start worrying.
Okay.
Or, it's gaping its mouth, stuff like that, presence of an RI.
What does that do? Or what does that show? That shows they have an RI if they're gaping their mouth? They can do
pretty much just like humans, but they may wheeze or...
Okay.
Like breathe through their mouth and open their mouth, and then you'll see mucus going into their mouths. Like, you can tell most of a snake's state from just looking at its mouth, and
it tells a lot, apparently, which I didn't know.
And yeah, sound is always better on YouTube.
Evan, you know that it's our 20. Should we mark it?
Although sometimes I'll see them bouncing from like over there
just
to
on
over
Facebook.
there to over there. I don't know.
But it's our 25th podcast. I think that's momentous
and Evan's
to acknowledge.
Been in like 24 of them.
Evan's been in so many. It's helpful though. We like questions.
Makes it a lot more interesting than to just talk to each other.
I know.
Which we do, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but we also talk to everyone else when they have questions.
Yeah, that's true. I wish I could have had a better. No.
Do I want to publicly tell everyone that answer to that question?
No.
I'm not ashamed.
No, either am I. Just don't want to talk about it in this.
It could be one sentence answer.
Okay.
Go for it.
No, see, now you're gonna make me say.
I don't know. That's funny. He said we all use Tinder.
That's pretty close.
It was close. We actually met a step up above from Tinder. Or in my eyes, it's a step up above.
No, that's bad.
We met on Bumble. I think it's better. It's nothing to do with snakes.
Where the girls are a little bit more desperate out there.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
No, the girls are in control on Bumble. It's not desperate. They're in control.
The feminist dating app.
Okay, whatever. You said you didn't want to talk about it, and then you state more statements. Jesus. I just said one thing.
All right, that's all.
Transition. Bring it back. Find a way to
transitioning.
Transition it back to snakes.
Okay.
How are you going to do that one?
So I was thinking about today. I was thinking about.
Good job. Go for it.
Read off the script. I was thinking about, because I heard it on Morelia Python Radio, and we talked about it each other, but I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, is naming all of our snakes.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think we did, but like, how would we do it?
Yeah, we did talk about it.
I think a while ago, though.
Yeah, because we talked about, I decided, but I don't remember what it was. Like, superheroes, maybe I said. Or like someone used like spices, I think.
Spices?
I could be making that up.
I don't like remember.
Spices. But I've noticed a lot of people ask you like, what's the name of it? And
and you kind of want something to say so that like if they ever have babies, it can be like so-and-so's babies. And people are more likely to be interested in so-and-so's babies than random to random.
Yeah, but you just say, you just say who they came from, like whenever you're like, well, I got this from Walter Smith. Or Walter Smith.
That's a part of it too.
I think that's all that really matters is you say who it came from.
If Walter Smith had Benedict, the best fucking
Benedict
snake of all time.
That's the name that comes to your mind is Benedict, babe? Where did you pull that one from? How many people do you know named Benedict?
I thought maybe Bennett. No, I don't know. I mean, one of the carpet ones is Madame Blueberry.
That one of Walter Smith's?
No, like one of the famous carpet.
Madame. That makes no.
I don't know, but the fact is that like everyone still wants descendants of Madame Blueberry to this day.
Okay, so it's helpful to have that.
Or
name.
Cover Girl, which is like Casey Lassick's Jungle Carpet. She was on the front of a Reptiles magazine back in the day, so they called her Cover Girl. If you had like a Cover Girl line, Jungle, it was from Casey Lassick, whose Cover Girl was on the cover.
Evan said he named all his chondras. Evan, do you have a theme? Because do most people have themes?
Here's the fucking, what would you call that? The idea behind that comes from like thoroughbred horses. So you're going to name a horse like descendant of Seabiscuit.
That's the only horse I could think of too. That's sad. Seabiscuit. Okay.
Yeah, like descendants of Tobey Maguire's. Is that his name?
From Spider-Man?
From Seabiscuit.
It's from Spider-Man too.
Seabiscuit, right?
I thought that was Shia LaBeouf.
So if you have his...
you're making
that up.
Okay.
So you have fucking descendant of Seabiscuit, and then whatever, then you know exactly where your shit's coming from.
That makes sense. That like.
But also what you can do is the offspring. Seabiscuit is named after your favorite fucking sea salt Triscuits, right? Seabiscuit, and then so the next year you're gonna name everything after like colors or TV shows.
So each line has their own
category within it, but it's from that year because it's a.
But what if you have so many snakes? That just sounds stupid. You're gonna run out of stuff.
You can always make stupid stuff.
Like if your theme is colors, there's only so many colors. If you have 80 get 80.
Yeah, I mean you would obviously be choosy with who you start doing it with.
What do you mean? I thought you would name the whole line.
But how many years can you do it? It's like each year you name all your snakes after this category. Each year.
Yeah, you'd run out of fucking categories. You would run. That's
No,
and you're
how
not
long you
gonna
breed?
remember.
20 years. You're not.
But
gonna
you're not
remember
gonna remember
20?
all those names. There's
Well,
just
they're gonna
no
be written
way.
down. It doesn't matter. It'd be our way of categorizing and saying, oh, I picked this up from this person and at this time during that year. He named them all after.
Okay. I just think he'd run out of stuff, but whatever. Primal Roots said, my friend named his dog McLevin. What a horrible name for a dog. I like it. Super bad. Come on.
Yeah, but as a dog?
I don't know. Evan says he likes exotic or crazy names. Well, I don't know what that means. Exotic name. What are exotic names, Evan?
Like stripper names.
That's what I think. And I don't think that's what he means. I don't think he means stripper names. Like Joe said, I like the way horse names are put together. I gotta look up
it's an easy way to. I just think it's easy to
You
categorize.
have way more
and
snakes
remember.
than you have horses.
I guess
one person has way more snakes than one person has horses.
Yeah.
So it just.
So it'd be too much work to just.
I mean, if someone can tell me they've done it, if so, so you wouldn't name all of them.
You're not gonna have like this is Anthony the Amel. Like you're going to, you're gonna have to be at least like
A for Amel,
like something different. Like it's going to be a super nice snake that you award the name to.
Okay, I gotcha. So out of a clutch of, or out of all your babies of that
or
year,
like your
that
holdbacks,
you're 60. If you get 60 that year from all your snakes, you might only name like 10 of them. Is what you're saying?
Well, no, it's going to be sons and daughters of Red Man,
and Barnacle Boy.
And Faith Evans.
I don't get what you're saying.
Meaning, like, I want people to be like, oh, that's from that snake.
So if you're starting out, you might name 4.
Or even personable ones. Ones that people like on Instagram.
That's
like,
how
this is Henry.
That's how you decide to name it. The ones people like on Instagram.
This is Henry.
That's
then they're like,
stupid.
I want Henry's babies, and then you send them Henry's babies.
Okay, I want to read Evan's names: Fiji, Nagon, Stitch, Avatar, Zero Cool, Sloppy Seconds. Evan, these don't sound exotic. These are not.
That is good.
Feta Parmesan. That's Dorka. That's a different person. But Evan, I would like to tell you that Avatar, Zero Cool, Sloppy Seconds are not. Oh, but that's the crazy. He said crazy names. Never mind.
And then you have people who have their kids name their snakes, and then you end up with like fucking Princess Tutu. And
okay, Facebook's failing. But question:
it's all right.
Isn't there though that app thing where you like scan the QR code and that tells you their lineage right there?
Yeah, but we're not.
So then,
what's
the point? If everyone just had that, you don't need to name it. It just shows you.
Right, but
I think
want
everyone
some
should just have it.
No,
I think everyone should just have that app. We all have smartphones.
Yeah, but it's
get
like
in the 21st
premium.
Oh, it's 20. It's that. Oh,
you gotta print shit out.
Okay, printing shit out is a monthly payment. It's called a printer, which most grown adults have, even children in high school.
Yeah, but you gotta like laminate a fucking card and shit.
Oh, so hard. Life's so hard.
Well, you're worried about naming all the snakes. Now you want to take all the fucking
but
paper
it's like
up
one
and go through an ink
but then
cartridge.
You do that one, and it's like everyone can see it, and it's helpful. I don't know. What does everyone else think? I think it should. Everyone should have to use those little QR.
Everyone
codes.
should have to. We're just.
Because that makes it so much easier. Yeah, it makes it so much easier. You can look like so that before you even buy a snake, you can be like, okay, dude, send me the QR code for this snake so I can look it up. And
in
that'll
a perfect world. That's cute.
Really. Do you say that's cute?
Yeah. No one's gonna invest in that. It's expensive.
Oh. It's $24.99. Are you kidding me?
$24.99. Yeah, but you gotta keep
Is that my voice?
Yeah.
Is that what it sounds
like 10 years.
$24.99 a month or a year?
A month.
She hasn't said it.
Even if it's a year, then I was
then you're
really
ridiculous.
That. Yeah.
But
Like,
even
fuck
a
this
month,
thing.
so that it saves you from the questions of like, because people want to know that, and I'm sure they'll ask
you can build your
questions
own.
about it. It saves you from the questions. Also, yeah, you can go make your own QR. I mean, that's a lot of effort.
And then also
you
you keep spreadsheets and then put pictures on the spreadsheets.
See,
and
that's
then
too much.
upload them to Morph Market, and then
that
all your
seems too
snakes are
much.
for sale in your whole. That's how you do
Spreadsheet. I
inventory.
think spreadsheets are old news.
No, okay. It's just shitting on
Who uses spreadsheets?
Postmates.
I think that's
Okay.
I think
Well, sorry.
What is having the picture tell you? I'd rather have the lineage. I mean, obviously we want the picture.
You want both.
I mean, yeah. If you made the QR code shows you both.
Yeah, but that's just scan. I don't even like QR coding anything. That's
okay,
the most
Grandpa. It is not
no one uses QR codes anymore.
Yeah, they're all well. I'm biased because in education we use it a lot with kids.
In education.
In teaching, use it a lot with kids. QR codes are great. They're the future. Spreadsheets the past.
They're not the future. They're dead technology. That is only living in like a few.
Dead technology.
Who uses them anymore? Like
we
half
use
a
it
year
with
and
teachers
no one liked it.
And kids. We use it all the time. You can pull up like links to books. What'd you say? We're not important. Teachers are important.
Students and teachers. Who needs that?
Okay. Don't
but
go
no,
there.
You don't need.
She said, I can buy a snake after a few months of that subscription. No thanks. As far as it's
people
25, it's not for the buyer. It's for you selling. I mean, the seller can still buy.
I mean, you just keep track of your own shit, and then you're fine.
But would you think if everyone does it, the price would be cheaper, or no?
If everyone did it, you mean like more people signed up, and they're like, "There's so many people, let's just lower our price." Is that what's gonna happen?
That's what I thought might happen.
They're like, oh shit, maybe we should bump up the price because
everyone likes it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really work that way.
Well, that's stupid that it's so expensive. Like, I don't get why
like we're just making too much money now. Let's.
Okay, well, it shouldn't be that expensive.
Oh,
I didn't think it was that. You could also do it yourself, but that's a lot of work. You can make your own QR codes for free.
The thing is, if you have 50 clutches, getting pictures that you already have on your computer.
But it's more about lineage than the pictures, is what I'm saying for the app, for the QR. It's more about knowing the lineage.
Yeah.
Then you.
I mean, it does it all for you if you're.
What? The app. That's why it's worth fucking $25.
Okay, and you can do it if you want.
See, you just proved my point. It does it all for you. That's why
I know.
Great.
Then get it, man, and you'll be at the printer all day. Fucking print out QR codes like you're in fucking 2009, dude.
Printing anything is 2009?
Printing QR codes is for sure. 2 half-dead technologies at once.
What's the other one? A printer?
No, yeah, a fucking printer.
No, 3D printing. It's still a printer.
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
It's still a printer.
I mean, a drill's not a fucking hammer, is it?
No, but a printer is a printer.
But it's way upgraded. It's a drill versus a hammer.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
We're being very stupid. We need to get on topic. Okay. I see the benefits to names. Right. I see the benefits to the app.
Right.
One is obviously cheaper.
Right.
One, you're going to run out of names if you're a big snake breeder.
Gonna get a little creative.
She said ink is expensive.
Sir, that's like $70 a fucking cartridge. By ounce, that is more valuable than fucking any gold ever, dude. Fuck out of here. There's fucking half an ounce in that fucking thing. And then it puts on the bristles like a thin layer of this fat ink and fucking it's gone in
people
a month,
do
dude.
It and they're clearly still can do it. Does BHB do the the things? No, he has those paper. But he has papers like hanging out of each tub, and I don't know what those are.
Just big letters RI with a magic marker on the front of the tub.
Stop. But he has some sort of system. Okay, so when we get big,
some sort of system.
When we get big, what is your plan for like what do you want to do?
I have a large space in my head to contain all the information.
Yeah, you couldn't remember everything about it. You think bullshit.
No,
how are we gonna do it? Tell the people how we're gonna. The whole 3 people watching right now. That's pretty sad.
Paper and quill.
Paper and quill and some scrolls.
What's wrong with that?
No, for real, babe. How do you plan? Like when you have 100. I mean, I was pretty much done. So
I like flashcards.
So
I like the idea of being able to slip in flashcard. But then again, my handwriting is terrible.
Yeah. Oof.
But I don't want to have to, because I usually like to have a clean hand and a non-clean hand when I'm cleaning snakes. But like, I don't always want to handle my cell phone while handling shit at the same time and being after everyone. All right, let's put the snake down. Let's put all the cleaning supplies down. Let's take off our gloves. And let's get out our phone and QR code. Oh no, did it match up with the 4 fucking corners?
Why did you turn
Canadian? Am I too far away?
Why am I
too far away or too close up?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then they're like, I don't know how to use this fucking
app. I've dropped the topic of the QR codes. I'm asking you. When you end up having a lot of snakes, what is you said index cards. What do you do / put on that index card?
7-Eleven, 8 mouse.
So it's their eating record.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice to have, right?
Well, that's what you just said. 7-Eleven, 8 mouse.
Or at least know.
Also, it wouldn't be 8 mouse.
8, like you
mice.
ate it. Not.
Past tense of eat.
What eats 8 mice?
I wasn't thinking.
Or meese.
No, you said mouse. Okay. 8 mouse. The mouse.
8 mouses.
Shut up.
What the fuck are we talking about?
The index card. So what would be the essential things to put on the index card?
Laid eggs, pre-lay shed.
So you don't update it that
often. Or if your babies do that feeding. I wouldn't care for like a female that's a corn snake that's on her 3rd year of breeding or something.
Doesn't matter to track
reason to keep her eating. I mean, I'm gonna tell if she gets skinny or if she's not eating.
Okay.
That's also, at one point, do you get too big to where you don't know like your snakes individually? To where you can't be like. I can
understand that. If you
no, I know, but like,
100,
what's the cutoff? Like, for me, it's like I feel like I would
80.
be able to be in tune with all my snakes and what's going on. But yeah, it's a lot of snakes.
I think 80. Then you lose the
80.
What's the word I'm thinking of?
81 wait, too many.
I'm gonna say this word wrong.
Yeah.
The
idiosyncrasies.
That's you lose the. That's the word. That means that, right?
No, yeah, you do for sure. But I don't know what the exact number is.
Take a guess. I'm saying 80. No, it's 60. Sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, taking care of 100 snakes is very similar to taking care of like 10.
What?
Yeah, you just clean them and then you're done. It's just
not
a little
the same.
That's
like saying taking care of 100 kids is like taking care of 10 kids.
No, because if you have one kid, you understand how kids work. So you're like, fuck these kids.
Understanding how they work does not make it the same.
Well, snakes, it does, because you may have one snake and you got to make all the temperature correctly, the humidity correctly. You got a bunch of snakes. You don't have to fuck with that as much. You do just as much work on that front to do one. Yeah,
but you got to obviously. Main thing, feeding, cleaning takes a lot longer, and 2, you still have to do you have to notice the ones who aren't eating, like with the hog noses, you know who are picky. You still got to know that, and I think I
may put that it's a picky eater and then start recording.
I think that would be a good.
But what if I'm
so
too
you're gonna
big
pull out the index card each time and do it after?
I guess I would rather do like a little strike.
Not. Yeah, well, I was about to say
If I could fit a calendar on there and put little
a
like
little
greens
calendar.
or
I mean, you can make
check.
them small. Not to bring
That's
up
very small.
BHB again, but doesn't he use like dots, different colored dots? I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But like, who wants to carry around 7 Sharpies? Like, I don't. That just seems crazy. Okay,
It's better than nothing.
I think who else? I mean, I don't know any other big breeders. So who else is a big one that you know about how they keep their shit organized? Do you know any?
I know maybe like Justin Kabelka maybe does like Reptiscan. I'm not sure.
What about the guy in California, Dave Bald guy, who does vlogs?
He's not big. He does Reptiscan.
Oh, okay. He's not that. How many does he have?
You're talking about Dave Kaufman?
No,
he doesn't.
One who's married to Apple.
Dan.
Dan.
No, he doesn't have Reptiscan or any of that. I'm not sure.
You don't know what he does.
So no, you just keep track.
Well, it seems like the big people use Reptiscan. So if you're big, you have the money to pay the $25.
No, the big people who are very like into numbers and stuff that's going on.
You use Reptiscan?
There's different types of people, right? Like people who are
really?
like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah. It's not just you, and everyone else is wrong.
I didn't say everyone else is wrong. Okay, yes, there's different types of people. They're interested in different things, knowing. No,
just things. Like in different. You know, there's people who are much more like really want to know the numbers. There's people that are really want to be in tune with it without recording anything.
Okay.
Just paying attention. And there's people who are like willy-nilly and stuff like that. You know, just like in anything else.
Sounds sketchy.
Like if you have different like supervisors or something, like you know, some people are really, really worried about some things that some people don't really give a shit about others. So it's like some people may really want to know all the idiosyncrasies. They want to know the phases of the moon, the fucking tides, and all that shit. But then some people are like, who gives a fuck if they're eating and breeding?
You don't think they should record that? Everyone should have the.
If you want to, if that's your personality, that's not really me. I like knowing, but I don't like getting to the fact where I'm doing more administrative work than working with the actual animal.
I understand that.
So there's got to be some type of balance.
If you don't have that administrative side, you're going to forget and you're going to make a mistake.
Right. And you definitely don't want to do that. But it's also hard to. I'm just not that analytical of that. Especially about the snakes. Like I'd rather work with the snakes and then I usually know what's going on. Like,
but if you have multiple, like you said, if you're big, you will hopefully. By the way, that's my beer.
Or if you do too many things that get in the way of
you can open it for me. Thank you.
You should be doing.
I know you were going to take that for yourself, though. You've already had 2, and the time I've had 1. But sorry, back to what I was saying. If you have multiple people working for you, I think you have to keep that sort of record thing so everyone knows what's going on, what's up. Can't just be like, I know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. At that point, when you have multiple people looking at the same animal. Obviously, no one's going to remember what you did because they didn't.
What do you think's the cutoff for needing a second or third person?
I have no idea. Because someone like, I believe Walter Smith does it all himself.
How many does he have?
I don't know. You'd have to look.
Take a guess. Take a stab.
But I know like Steve Roylance, I believe is the other corn snake guy. I think he does like 700 clutches or something.
All by himself?
Like, I think he may have 1 employee or something like that. I may be wrong.
Fuck, 700 by yourself? I mean, that's it has to be his full-time job, correct? Like,
yeah.
Okay, but still.
Yeah, but still, that's a lot, right? So it's like some people go that way, and then some people go where they have more employees because either like they have a full-time job on top of this or.
I can't imagine handling 700 clutches by myself. You could lose your mind.
No, it's outrageous. I don't know how you keep track of all the babies. Like getting any babies to feed is hard enough, but imagine like
all those at one time by yourself.
But then again, a lot of the wholesalers take babies without having been fed and stuff like that. So I believe a lot of those are shipped out pretty soon, like maybe even before their first shed. I mean,
like right away.
Like I'm not sure, but I think a lot of those, and I'm not saying like those people in particular, just like many wholesalers won't hold them past really their first shed.
I thought that's like standard to do that.
Yeah, in the hobby, when you're just
Not
inside the hobby,
wholesaling.
not when you're selling a Petco or PetSmart or any of those.
Because PetSmart.
Well, because it's
they
like,
want them as quickly as possible.
It's like 200% more the work to get them started. So you're putting more money into an animal that's already cheap,
and that
so
you're gonna sell.
You don't want to get a corn snake. Big guys don't want to feed, this A-male or normal corn snake.
Sell for nothing.
That's they may get $15, $20 retail, maybe if that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even $10. So it's like you need to be as lean as possible. Like just. Yeah, they're like, I don't even want to spend money on getting these guys started, and they got to pay employees to stay and help get them feeding. But doesn't that
greater the chance of selling a snake that could have an issue if you're not keeping them past their first shed?
Right, but it's past the level of responsibility.
It's like, okay, if I give you 200 and one's bad,
I never said it was
understandable. Kind of.
No, yeah, it goes out to individual stores to where they're like. Things die all the time.
If it happens, it happens. Opportunity cost.
It's the cost of doing business, son.
Yeah, but when you're doing small, obviously, different story.
And to people that you want, that you're going to have a rapport with going on, you're going to have communication with them. Because like people that I've bought snakes to, most of them are pretty.
Snakes too?
I bought snakes too. I bought snakes from. Most of them. I've maybe like called on in the future if something happens.
Right. That would be my first course of action.
At that point, like for most products and most things that you could ever buy, after 30 days, you can pretty much go fuck yourself, right? But like, a lot of these guys are willing to answer questions
years down the line.
That's going out. Yeah, like even if you haven't bought a snake from some people, they'll still message you back and help you out.
You're nice people.
So it's important to get that rapport with a breeder. Once you get in and you're buying a bunch of snakes and stuff, like if it's your first pet snake, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like some people don't like all those questions. We've listened to some things where they talk
some
about
people
that.
Who definitely don't
like the questions,
right? But if it's someone who's really good, and like I could tell you who's really good,
right? But my thing is, if you have the knowledge, why not share it with those who don't?
Yeah, some people just get you get a lot of messages, but it's like I try to help as much as I can.
But how long does it take you? 30 seconds to answer? You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not like a getter backer guy. So the fact that you're like a getter backer person makes me a more getter backer. Like, let me get back to you. Like I'm not going to.
Yeah, I'm I
just kind of forget. I'm just like, oh shit, I meant to do that, and then I forget again before I even do it. You're much more, let's do it, let's get it done. But I'm like, I'm driving, get the fuck out of here. So then I'll just have you, I'll talk to you.
Well, because it's easier having you with my brain lasts about 30 seconds. And if I don't do something right now, it is gone. And if I don't answer that person now, I won't answer them ever. And I think I've also know the power of networking and talking to people.
Yeah. I understand the power. I just don't like doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me. Dorco said, doesn't BHB get bulk shipments of ball pythons from his friends? I've never seen in the vlog bulk shipments. I've seen a couple, but he gets bulk?
Bulkish.
Sorry, that was Dixie, but it sounded like the door is opening.
Yeah. Dixie, I mean, that's not really a bulk thing, but I mean, it's definitely a wholesale situation. But yeah, before first shed, and
I think
because you're going to get snakes cheaper because you're letting breeders don't have to do all the issues.
I think we talked about this. I don't know on the podcast or just us that he doesn't breed everything. Which in my head I thought, oh, everything he's showing me he made.
You would think,
right? You don't realize that he's getting it. Why are you looking at me like that? Am I not holding the mic right?
No, you're fine.
Okay. And she's
but I mean, that would be a situation where you're like, that makes sense. It's different when you're shipping it over to a Petco.
But wait, so she's saying, are you saying those are before?
He's going to get them feeding before he sells them off. I think that is what.
So he would get them though before Brian gets his before.
Right out of the egg.
Really? Because they're friends? Because what?
Well, first shed happens only, 3 to 5 days after or so.
Okay, so why not wait till first shed and then send it to Brian?
Well, because it's really the thing is once you get it eating, that's when you would sell it. As a breeder who's going to be selling to a customer, feeding probably 2 to 5 times is when you'd be, okay, this snake is feeding, now I'm going to give it to the customer.
But Brian's not a customer. Brian, in this situation,
right.
they're
so
friends.
Brian's doing the I'm
feeding to
it
the
2 to 5 times, then giving it to a customer.
So his friends or whatever want to give it off.
He has a much bigger demand than these guys do. These guys just want to breed snakes. They don't want to do marketing. They don't want to do sales. Brian has that covered so thoroughly, and there's people on YouTube.
Do you think he gives them a cut? No.
What do you mean? Yeah, he buys them for a lower price than would be regular retail if they sold them separately. But he's doing all the work.
So he doesn't give the person any more than just the buying cost.
No, it's just buying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize he pays for them.
It's just like wholesaling anything else.
I didn't know he even paid for them. I thought the friends just, here you go, Brian. Because when he he's like that sometimes on the video. Like, my friend sent me this snake. Da, 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 da. Like,
good graces.
He totally acts like they just gave it to him. I had no idea he
never mentioned money.
Sometimes he's like, oh, Lori let me buy this or whatever. Those times.
It's usually like,
but the other times it's like, oh my God, my friend sent me this. Yeah, totally thought it was just like a, here you go.
But even that stuff that was bought to wholesale too, the stuff that was from Lori or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they just buy stuff. I mean, that's what happens, I guess, when you get big and you have to make money.
I don't know. I feel like if I'm at the point where I'm breeding as many as Brian, like, why buy? You have so many. Like, he doesn't have enough of his own to breed.
Yeah, he doesn't.
That seems crazy. So much stuff. How does he not have it? You know what I mean? How do you do you ever get to the point where you don't need to buy from other people?
That's good though.
I mean, it's good for the industry.
The market's good.
Right. It's good for the market but do you ever, is there a point where you are like, okay, I don't need to buy from you anymore?
But you need to find that yourself. And he went down in snakes so he could do more YouTube. If I made the money that he does YouTubing, I wouldn't have to fuck with anything else. Like,
would you, I know it's very arbitrary, but can you think of a point you would get to where you wouldn't need to buy snakes from other people? Is that possible to put that in
Not
words?
If you want to stay in the industry, not if you want to cement yourself in the industry.
Really, you have to continuously buy from other people. You
still got to be a front runner in a way to quality and new genes, because you may have the best old genes, but it's kind of all
you can't make your own new gene.
Time.
If you have so many, you can make your own new genes.
You can make combinations, and those combinations are going to get stale because people are like, oh, everything, there's that and everything. You need to bring in fresh blood and cool stuff and new stuff and be creative and innovative. And
so everyone is always buying. Even the biggest breeders are always buying.
Or else they'll fall behind. You gotta stay at the top.
But to me, once you get to the top, and that's it.
You don't chill. Yeah,
I thought not chilling because you're still selling to the bottom.
Get to the top, you can't chill. You gotta keep your foot on the gas. Even if
I don't know, just in my head, pyramid, once you get to the top, you're just, the bottom's all feeding from you. Sorry. The bottom is feeding off of you. And
right, but you got to keep on investing to stay on top.
Feeding?
You got to feed someone else.
Are you feeding from the top? When you're at the top, are you feeding from only the top?
There's always...
Does the top get more, do they feed off each other, or does the top ever feed from lower?
The top does what's in best interest of the top.
So that could be feeding from the top or feeding from the lower.
Right. I mean, there's some people you could have get into a gene that was some weird dinker thing that popped up in someone's wherever, and you buy it from a lower, but now it's a topper because you have all the marketing and the good stuff.
Because you have it, you can make a lower top.
You can make a lower top. Lows can't make a top.
I hope this isn't confusing for
other semi-new ball python genes. But since they don't have much wheels behind the project and marketing,
they're low, even though they're new.
They start off at $2,500 when the other ones start off at $10,000.
But if a top person buys that $2,500 and is like,
if they market it right, if people start, what they do is they may pair it to something else and say, look at what this makes, a fucking
dragonfly
Hershey
butterfly.
Kiss. and
Okay. And then it
like,
becomes a 10,000 just like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, look at what it can do.
Just,
In that gene.
You know, I just had something I had and got it a low. That's crazy that they can make something take something that was so cheap.
It's worth
expensive
nothing,
like
right?
that.
It's worth nothing until you put a weird dollar amount that some sweaty guy who just got
what?
Some guy with long hair, long greasy hair, with black sweating through his black shirt.
I don't know
is
what
like,
you're
I
talking
really
about.
made myself a $15,000
Okay, no
ball
one's on
python,
YouTube.
you know?
I mean, on Instagram right now, but it's ending. So buy Instagram. YouTube. I believe Brian did mention in one of his vids that he does buy from some guy because he's not breeding that type of snake. So he just buys it and then he flips it essentially.
Yeah. Which
is
I mean,
people
do that.
Is there no like, what's the word? Sorry. No, we need to the microphone. But is there no bad? Do people
Stigma?
not stick? That's the word. Jesus. Sorry, I shouldn't say Jesus either.
Oh, Jesus. He's listening. He's always listening.
Is there any stigma against flipping? Because
Yeah,
in my head, flipping's bad. I don't like it.
There's good flipping,
but
bad
then
flipping,
there's people who
flipping.
like, we listen to Gary Vee all the time, and Gary Vee's all about flipping. And
inanimate objects, not fucking snakes. But yeah,
Jesus. I don't like flipping at all. Flipping or
no, it's a little greasy always, right?
Flipping from like a Petco or like something like that doesn't bother me, but like flipping from like a real person feels fucked up to me. But I don't know.
And no, because everyone has their needs. It's a deal between two people, right? Like, even though it may be a little greasy to get something at a garage sale for $10 and sell it for 25,
right,
but at the same time, that person's still willing to pay 25 for that, and there's a founder's fee with that shit. I get, like, the thing is that the flipper's doing, if they're doing it right, they're feeding the animal a couple times, they're making sure it's healthy, they're putting they're taking away the responsibility of the breeder, and time and effort. For a price that's going to be lower than if you try to go out and sell it yourself, but you gotta either spend money or time selling it yourself. So it's just easier, just like anything else. Just like Bounty paper towels doesn't sell probably directly to Target, they probably go through a distribution center that gets distributed to Target stores,
and the distribution center charges more
than they got it for, but it may be only 20% more instead of the 100% more than they got charged before. So it's like Bounty sells it to the distributor for $12, then the distributor
sells it
charges
to Target
$16, and then Target sells it for $25.
Right. And so the last person is fucked the most.
Right, but that still may be regular market value.
So the person who's selling it at first is selling it lower than market value.
Are like, and that's marketing. People would be like, I'm buying it from Brian Barczyk, so it's worth more than if I'm getting it from Joe Blow, fucking weirdo on the side of the street.
That name. But yes, I understand that name attached to it.
Marketing.
So I guess I mean, marketing is a thing. If the original breeder,
marketing is a thing. Yeah.
They don't want to, if they don't want, they wouldn't need the flipper if they were willing to market it themselves. But clearly marketing is not interest in them. So the flipper is the one who also puts in the time to market it.
Yeah, I do think it's weird when, like Dorco said, it feels greasy because if the big breeder gets a flipper, if the big breeder, I guess, flips, they're guaranteeing it under their name. People think they're getting a big brand breeder, but they're not.
Right, it came from the other person.
Yeah, I agree.
Brian, like you said, putting Brian's name on it. It's not Brian's thing.
But he was being transparent in one way and not in another way. So it's like transparent. He's showing that it happens on the thing, but he's not saying it in his ad.
Right. He's showing. So if you watch the vlog, you see it. But if you're just going to go buy it, it says Brian Barczyk's.
For me, yeah, but he has enough clout to do that. But like, I would be like, produced by whoever.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Yeah,
with
but
that.
I mean, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't, depending on the avenues of it and how. I don't know.
Do
It's
you-
like, but another thing is, if I'm buying a whole clutch to keep 2 of them and then sell the rest to protect my investment, then I don't think that's shady, because like you're keeping the snakes. You're not just buying them and flipping them straight up.
Right. You didn't go into it with the intentions of, or partly in the intentions of flipping it. Stop drinking my beer. I would like my beer.
Okay, keep on going.
You just, there was not a reason for you to keep, if you buy 6 and there was not a reason for you to keep 4. You only need to keep 2. I feel like that's totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Are there people in the reptile industry that are purely flippers?
Yes.
What?
A lot less now than there ever was. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
that's greasy. I don't like this term greasy.
I mean, if you get it straight from an importer and put it out there, I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. There's good and bad ways to do everything.
I think if you're a pure flipper, there's no good way to do that. I think
I don't think
if you are not breeding anything, you're just you're a holding place for them.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Just like any other store, though.
True. I guess a store is a holding.
It's a holding place.
It's just a holding place.
Yeah.
Because stores never breed.
It's not the ultimate
never breed their own. So you're essentially become a store.
Right.
Instead of a breeder, you're a store.
And then there's some stores that do it right and some stores that do it wrong. And you always use Dan as an example, but he's 75% a flipper. He'll keep pairs of things to try to breed them.
Okay.
But for the most part, they're imported species. But then again, they're so rare
that it makes it different.
Because that's the only way you can get them, because they don't breed in captivity yet. So you're trying to get that animal into more people's hands to start to breed. So it's different. That's why I'm saying some flippers are good, some flippers are bad. If you're flipping
something that other people can't get,
if you're flipping a bunch of normal ball pythons, then like that's just a lot of work for a little payoff. That's all. But no, fuck you.
Fuck you. Why? Why do that? That just seems stupid.
Yes and no. I mean,
you got to read the whole thing, babe. For people who are listening later,
I do want to read the whole thing.
Yeah, read the whole. For people who are listening, who download it later, you got to read the whole question. I'll read it. What about underground reptiles, XYZ reptiles? Aren't they pure flippers?
I don't know who XYZ reptiles is, but
right.
underground reptiles, they do keep some stuff. It wouldn't be my first choice on how to keep stuff.
But we're not talking about the keeping, we're talking about the flipping. Oh, well, so you said they do see, and they breed some of their own?
I'm saying you can do better, people. That's all.
Does underground reptiles breed some of their own things?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so they're not pure.
But it's like the type of breeding where you're like, if I throw it out in Florida for long enough, will it breed itself? That's what their breeding is.
Okay.
It's like, does it breed itself if I put it in Florida?
A little sketch. Just a little bit.
Just
okay.
That's it, man.
He said, are small family-owned pet shops considered flippers?
Right, like that's where it gets weird, because it's like, is a pet store a flipper now? Like pet stores are how everyone knows about
pure
animals.
Flippers are stores essentially.
Right, so it's like good stores, bad stores.
So like
I've seen some really shitty small family pet shops.
Let's talk
really
about
shitty.
DFW Reptarium. That's here. We went to that. They are essentially flippers. And in that is, they need to make a profit to keep it going, and so the thing about that is, though, I feel like since they are a brick and mortar store, they wouldn't be getting these animals to as many people if they didn't exist, if that makes sense. If you're a flipper,
one would know these things exist.
I think if you're a flipper and you don't have a brick and mortar store, it's a little bit different. I think if you're a family, like if you have the brick and mortar, it's different to me, because you're bringing it to you're providing more than just selling it to normal. I don't know how to describe it.
To people who are already looking for reptiles.
Right. This is bringing it to people who are like, oh, I see this shop. Let me.
That's why I say people hate Petco and PetSmart, but they're the way to get people into
the lowest level.
Right. But they're like, oh, that ball python was cool. Let me Google ball pythons. Oh, there's all these cooler ones that are less expensive online. that look crazy, like, yeah, that's
Okay.
cool. And then they get to someone, or maybe it's their second or third one, to where they find out that there's private breeders, and then
And then they bring the money
breed
back
themselves, and then
you know.
they're at the bottom of the pyramid, and the pyramid eats itself.
Okay, so he said, I think underground reptiles has tons of wild shit. Do they? They just get a lot from the wild.
No comment.
They're
captive born. Damn it, they're
Jesus,
captive born.
You're yelling. That hurts. So they're just sketchy all around. But he says they're only known for their tegus.
Like, I don't want to talk shit about it.
Okay.
Okay, that's it, man.
Just saying no, just staying silent.
No.
Just silence is telling all.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, even the name alone, underground reptiles, makes it sound sketchy.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a sketchy.
It's just interesting that the name seems to fit the.
And I haven't had personal bad experiences.
Have you? You've never bought from them?
You can just see. You can tell by
keeping styles and methods. Yes.
Not only that, but reading things around from other people. I mean, there's a whole bunch of.
How much can you? Is that
just go look for the fauna BOIs before you buy from anyone. And then the bigger they are, it's hard because the more they put out, so the more possibility there is for shit to go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, just if you're buying something, you don't have to. Most of the big names get a bad rap, really.
But I think that, like you said, the bigger the name, the more there's a chance for something bad to happen. Wrong.
So it's difficult, but I would definitely always like that medium-sized breeder who knows what he's doing, but like still has a personal.
Would you say a morph market is filled with medium-sized breeders?
Yeah,
for the
most part. But then underground reptiles and BHB put ads on that. But still, honestly, even BHB and underground reptiles are not the top of the top.
Really?
I mean, you have like the Bells and the Gourmet Rodent, and those are like the multi-million-dollar companies.
Of the pyramid.
But yeah, but I mean, they're not really even in the pyramid anymore. They just kind of do their own thing. Too far
past it,
right?
Transcended past the pyramid.
They've gone outside the pyramid. They are the base and the top of the pyramid at the same fucking time. They're like, they're the fucking Illuminati,
Yeah. Okay, wait. Someone asked a question, but I literally am going to pee.
Okay, well, sorry. I don't know how I feel like once I know there's wild caught stock, my brain distrusts anything captive bred. Yeah, I mean, it's a different thing because people don't realize that like captive hatched or captive bred may mean that someone collected eggs out of the wild, or, they collected a adult female and it had birth. So it wasn't actually bred and hatched in captivity, especially not in the United States. So sometimes you think that captive bred or captive born means in the United States, but a lot of times it means on a farm in Indonesia, then shipped over here. So you don't know if it was fed wild, prey and stuff from that area. So it may have been captive born, but still may have wild caught parasites in it because of what it ate, what they had to start it on, stuff like that. So you don't want to, especially with something like a chondro, a green tree python, you're going to want to see U.S. captive born and bred, because captive bred just means that it was born in Indonesia, and a lot of things could have happened in between there, as well as anything captive bred that's a little bit rarer, stuff like that. But when you're getting into ball pythons and corn snakes, I mean, all that stuff, there's no reason to catch it out of the wild much anymore. I mean, they're so low price and easy to get. They're much less expensive to just produce than to go catch out of the wild.
Awesome. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, don't even have a microphone.
I don't know what we're talking about, but totally agree.
Can you talk while I pee now?
Oh, can we just end it?
I don't have to not pee. That is true. We've already.
I just really had to pee, but yeah, we're at.
So it's like.
What are we at right now?
I don't know, man.
You laughed like you knew what the time was.
We're like an hour 15.
Okay. Yeah, let's just end it and go.
Yeah. So what I was talking about.
Finish
captive born from it, like I don't know. It depends. I mean, just use your best judgment. There's a lot of good breeders out there. Just do research and don't depend on anyone's marketing and stuff. I mean, just make an informed decision. There's so many good breeders out there. There's no excuse to get like
from
a snake
one.
from, like don't go cheap. You don't have to go crazy expensive. I mean, just a medium breeder. Because it's hard. There are some breeders who demand a better price but at most of the time you're getting a more quality animal. But
I don't know.
I mean, it's just hard. Like, don't ever trust your first Google response. Don't be like
in life. Don't usually trust your
don't
first
do
Google
that.
response.
So it's like if you type in ball python for sale, the first one that comes up is just one that's
probably a sketch ball.
I mean, or just someone who's very big and marketed to that point to where you're the I mean, you can see through that a little bit. And
Nathan says he caught a yellow rat snake. How does he get rid of the parasites?
Buy a captive born run for like
That's
$20.
Not the answer.
They're really cheap in captivity. I mean, I like to keep every snake where it's meant to be. For the most part.
Answer his question.
How do you get rid of parasites? You can treat it with antibiotics, but
so that involves bringing it to the vet.
Not necessarily. If you're a big breeder who imports a lot, you're going to have it laying around.
Well, I don't think he is.
Right. So it's like maybe wait it out or keep it in a separate room, the whole time you have it.
Definitely quarantine it.
Yeah.
Oh, like for the whole time, to quarantine it for life.
I mean, if you're never going to treat if you can see parasites, that's one thing. Then just treat them. Then bring them to the vet and treat them. But
if you can't see, yeah. Okay.
And then also, I don't know.
She said it sounds like it'd be expensive to treat than to buy. More expensive to treat it than to just buy a captive one.
It's crazy how you would think that, but they're not individually going to vets or anything like that. You're mostly getting a lot of medications. You can get them for very, very cheap. I mean, even through veterinary services online, like you don't even have to go to a vet. You can get them online, and it would be, I mean, you can get a bottle of Baytril for like $20 or something, because it's different. You're a reptile, like a lot of these medicines are created for
much bigger
dogs
animals.
Or like pigs and stuff like that. So it's like, it's going to be much more effective on a reptile. So you're only using such a small dose that it's really not that expensive. But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got to say about that.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everyone who's ever listened to us.
Ever listened.
I appreciate you 25. Getting this far. It's been a hard 25.
Tell your friends.
25 weeks, man. That's almost like half a year.
Okay.
52 weeks in
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So that's a bit.
I mean, we've been dating for half a year, so yes.
I did the first couple myself.
That's what I was wondering. That's weird? What I thought. I think I started.
Weird.
I came in on 4. Okay.
I think it became like such a different thing than what it was in the beginning.
I know. So. I just added so much.
No, not like that. Like the whole idea.
Okay. Whatever, bye, y'all. Man.
Thank you guys. Port City Pythons, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It would be amazing if you subscribe to me on YouTube.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Or anything. Or listen to the podcast. That's cool too.
Okay,
we make like so much money on the podcast.
So much money, let me tell you. Okay, bye.
All right, we're stopping now for reals.
Yes, for reals.